Where is her drive?
Things are getting steamy for Dr. Teddy on Grey's.
Do you want to skip the afternoon lectures?
And no, not with her husband Owen.
Dr. Teddy might be falling for someone. Can you bring me up to speed?
I think, it's going to be a really amazing return because I think, Teddy's gone through such an experience. And I think there's a lot weighing on her in terms of guilt and fear and but also a sense of, oh, okay, that whole experience is not what she had been, thinking would help her marriage. But I think there's a big weight upon her. And then she returns to the hospital. At first she goes home and it's a little tricky, the dynamic between her and Owen. And a lot is kind of revealed in this episode, which is great.
That's because they've decided to open their marriage. Nothing is sacred in Shondaland.
When she first suggested this open marriage, both I think Kevin and I were like, wow, wow, are we sure we want to tackle this? It was really important to me that however we did approach this kind of new storyline, that we were very conscious. I wanted it to be that Teddy had evolved from one place to the other and that it wasn't just sort of a cheating episode because Teddy had been through that. I really felt like she had grown from that.
Do you want an open marriage and to sleep with other people? You're not denying it.
So fans will finally get resolution on the steamy new relationship between Dr. Teddy and Dr. Cass tomorrow night on ABC.
With the concept of open marriage, how have the fans responded to the storyline?
I think that's what Shonda Rhimes has always done, is that fans have mixed feelings about it and it creates a discussion. And to me, that is really interesting. To me, it's interesting when we're having an argument about these characters that we love and we see moments of greatness with these characters and we see moments where they're faltering, and that's what makes them relatable. And I love the fans for that because they are so passionate and they do have really strong feelings. And I think some people have really strong feelings who have shipped Owen and Teddy for years and years and years. And I understand that. And then there's also fans who are like, they even came up with a new name, Cassidy, for this ship. And that's amazing, right? That is what Shonda and all of the writers who support Shondaland and Grey's Anatomy how lucky am I that they're coming up with these storylines that are like, there's a multitude of feelings towards them.
And there were sparks between Teddy and Cass before, but nothing happened. Why did this shift? Why was this time around a little different between you two?
I think for exactly the reason that I had concerns about this whole open marriage is that I wanted it to be mindful. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be real in the sense that I think Teddy and Owen have been in discord for a long time now. So I wanted them as characters to really investigate options. Mm-hmm. And I kind of love that they came to the place that Teddy is so in love with Owen, but they're not getting along, not just for a week, not for 2 weeks, but it's been a long time. And so I think that is also why, even though there was an attraction and chemistry between Teddy and Cass, that respectfully, it was with consent to see what the relationship would be like together. And that's really life. Life is messy. And I think the fans do relate to the messiness. Whether they like it in the moment is another question. But I think that that's also what I wanted to do in the episode that I was directing, is really make it that quintessential Grey's where you're like cheering in one moment and then shocked in another and then left hanging like when the episode is over, so that you lean in a little bit more towards this next episode, which is airing this Thursday.
Kim also directed the episode, so she was behind the camera and in front for her love scenes.
How challenging was that for you, and did you enjoy playing both roles?
I think directing my own love scenes I had imagined how it was going to be and rehearsed it. Actually, my husband, I like brought him in. I was like, okay, you need to be Cass. I'll be Teddy. I figured that out. And then, talked about it with the intimacy coordinator so that by the time we got to the scene, both of, I think me and Sophia, and then I think, all the other actors in the other scenes that I was doing felt comfortable because we had really mapped it out sort of as a dance and made sure that everyone felt good about what it was. But there was definitely moments where I was like, oh, wait, I was like, we would be kissing. And I was like, okay, wait, hang on. Let's try in terms of like the intention, this a little differently. And Sophia was amazing because it's odd to all of a sudden have the person that you're like working with also be the one directing and saying, oh wait, what if the intention is this? But she's such a professional and she is just such a light and so collaborative. And I love how supportive she is of, sort of like women supporting women and growing, and working with her was a true gift. And she really she would just go with the flow in terms of like, oh, I think Teddy should be trying it this way. And she's like, okay. So that was just really great.
All right, looks like it only hit the lung.
Yeah, but I don't like how close it is to the heart.
Kim has played Dr. Teddy for 9 seasons on Grey's.
It's been a part of you for so long. Do you find yourself sometimes thinking like, oh, I'm actually a doctor, I could perform surgery?
It's not like I'm delusional like that. I know that I'm not a doctor. But I was on an airplane with my husband and they're asking if there's a doctor. And I started to stand up. My husband was like, absolutely not.
I love that.
Sit down.
I aced that skills lab, Bailey. My suture technique was far more advanced.
Her former co-star, Giacomo Gianniati, was just with us and had a question for Kim.
Is that Giacomo?
There you go, yes!
He has a mustache!
Hey, Kim, how you doing? What do you think of the new mustache? Approve?
Oh, sweetie, ciao, bello, come vai? Tell him I think it looks fantastic.